Alright, and welcome back to another episode of Ball X Pit. So we have got some interesting gameplay today. You got a little bit of Pauli on this one and a little bit of me when I was on my lunch break. So you get to see what I'm able to accomplish as well, if anything. Honestly, it's been a couple of days since we recorded this video, so I don't remember exactly. Now, I do know that here at the beginning, I had just went to break probably a few minutes into this particular run, and I was able to watch most of it live. So this is Pauli with the same character, Itchy Finger, and he is going into the pit, and we get to actually see what a good gameplay actually is, because this was going to be the first time we actually see some real movement in the game. And honestly, he made it look really easy here, and I'm just so stoked to show this one to you. So as you can see, he's gotten himself some pretty good upgrades up to this point. So we've got those vertical and horizontal balls. So that's like really doing some major damage. And as you can see, his health meter is still very full. And here he is, coming up on the first mini-boss. He's made this look super easy, just mowing them down, getting them all just cleared out very fast. It's wonderful how great this particular match is going. Wow, look at that, just, come on, mowing it down. Like I said, this is a beautiful gameplay. You're going to love it. Okay, and coming up on the second mini boss on this level, and as you can see, health is still full. Watch this. This part's incredible. I mean, look how quickly he's able to clear this little section out. I'm just like, I'm at a loss for words of how well that cleared out for him. And again, he's playing a game and he makes it look easy. Now, he doesn't do this every time with every game, But once he knows what he's doing, once he learns what it is that needs to be done, he honestly gets it very quickly. And it's like, I wish I was able to adapt so well. I mean, this is incredible how well he's able to just get this boss down. And as you can see, there's just so much happening all at once. It's just complete and utter chaos. And he has still a full health ball. Alright, and here it is, opening up here for that final boss of this first level. Here we go. And this boss, I'm telling you, there is a lot to watch, a lot to unpack. So he's getting that whole line cleared out, and you see these little purple arrows being thrown at him. So he's got to avoid getting hit by those, as well as making sure all his hits are landing on the head of this enemy, and only the head is where the damage goes. The arms shoot off like that every once in a while. So yeah, it's got to be extra cautious here. And just look at this. Trying to get those hits in behind so they actually bounce back and actually hit him in the head. Because so many hits are getting not counted. But look at that health bar. Still has a full health. And he's just on it. Look at that. Got that health meter. Almost got this boss down to halfway. So he's really doing good. He still has almost full health himself. So yeah, this is the first time we're actually seeing this boss, and it's goodness, it's really stressful. Even rewatching it now, oh my gosh. Okay, so as you can see, we're now at the point of it's either him or Pauli. The Skeleton King still has about, I don't know, an eighth of his health left. Pauli's down to like a 16th of his. And this is the point when if Amanda were playing, she'd be shaking and panicking and freaking out and end up getting herself in a position where she's constantly getting hit. So here I'd be in super panic mode. And as you can see, he's getting these hits in. Gosh, look how close this is going to be. Ooh, he barely missed that. Look at that. Whew, that is incredible. Look at that. Look how close that was. Holy cow. First victory. Booyah, we beat the boss. Great job, Pauli. 18 minutes for that. Fantastic. Okay, so now just on a side note here, he basically handed me the controller and said, "Here, check out my game." So now I get to build some resources if I want to. And he wants me to just check it out and see what it does. So now you're just going to see me pressing buttons and doing some dumb stuff for a minute. So don't mind me. Okay, so here I am looking to see which one to use. And it says we've already completed it with that character, so it won't let me do it again, and we can't start the next one. So that's when I realized, oh, I gotta go back and use the first character. Yay, what I so not wanted to do. And so now you get to see my gameplay with the very first character that we got when the game started. And I'm telling you, you may or may not laugh at my particular gameplay. And basically, I'm going to be going through the same learning process as Pauli. He's told me at this point, you're going to have to make sure that you are doing everything at an angle. You don't want to ever hit them straight on because it doesn't do as much damage. And he's basically giving me all the little tips that he's learned of the game. Even though I watched him play the last match, I already know that it's going to take a little bit of learning for me to get the hang of all of it. And as you can see, the difference in his play and mine is I'm still doing some straight-on hits, and I'm not moving around as much, so I'm not picking up my little blue things. And he says those are also really important. I, of course, didn't learn that right away, even though I'd watched him play. So it takes me a little time before you actually see my gameplay change. So for now, just remember, I'm trying my hardest, and you might get a good laugh at the way I play. And also as a reminder, Amanda likes to run into things. So you will definitely see me running into things. And it's not actually on purpose that I'm running into them. It's that I start to go into like this little panic mode. And so I start like running forward, and I keep forgetting that running forward rams stuff. So yeah, you'll see me ram things a little more than I should. So my health has already went down to next to nothing. And this is only my first attempt, and I haven't even made it to the first mini boss yet. So it's not looking good for the home team, folks. And here it is. Look at how low my health is. And again, I haven't even gotten to the first boss yet. So, yeah. Not looking good for me, man. I'm getting overwhelmed quickly. But I do have some really good upgrades, which you can actually see. They're leveling up really well. I've gotten this vampire one, which kind of helps with gaining a little bit of health. And that dark one really does a really mean hit, so that really helps too. But you can definitely see a difference in his gameplay and mine for sure. I'm kind of chaotic and all over the place, and definitely almost out of health, and this is fairly early. But my first time actually playing a little bit, and as you can see, I've already made it to the very first mini boss, my first try, and when we looked back at the other gameplay, it took him a few turns before he finally made it to the first boss. So all in all, I take that as a win, even if I do die here. Yeah, this is looking pretty good for a first attempt. But man, if I could only just do something about this health. I gotta stop ramming stuff, man. There it is, game over, 5 minutes. And ta-da! First attempt down. Alright, so now going forward, it's just going to be me trying as many times as I can before I have to go back from my lunch this day. So, yeah, have fun, enjoy me playing like a noob, and I'll let you know when the player changes. Alright, and there we are. Game over. As you can see, I'm not doing as well as Pauli did with that last boss, but I'm giving it my best shot. I think I only have either just this turn or one more after it before I have to go back from lunch that day. So I know I have at least one more turn. So you should be able to tell the difference when Pauli takes back over. And I did much better this go round with the first boss. I actually was able to get past him without losing all that health. So I actually do have some health going into this next section. So yeah, this looks a lot better. Alright, now see I'm coming up on this next mini boss. Alright, let's see how far I make it with full health right now. So we're nearing the end of the video here, and I am coming up on this final boss myself. Now, I don't remember if I was successful or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and let the video finish playing out and let you guys just see how it goes. I do know that this was the last attempt on the video, not only going by how long I currently see how long it is, but I do remember I had to go back from my lunch right after I attempted this boss. And I also remember really freaking out, but I can't for the life of me remember if I beat it this first try or not. So I'm just going to leave you guys to it and let you enjoy.